In our 25 minutes together, I'm going to share a lot of tools and technologies. I'm not expecting you to use them all. What I'd love you to do, and we've got a little bit of time together at the end to do this, is have a think about what each tool might be able to do for you, how it might be able to help, and choose maybe up to three things you like to do off the back of this session so that you can put some of those things into practice straight away in the next maybe week or so. I've got lots of prompts to share as well for us to get thinking about what that means to you. Got some activities and some resources I'm going to share with you today. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen. And we've got some slides to take us through what we're going to do in this session. So in this session, we're going to look at AI empowerment because I think it's good for, I'm already started using jargon like AI and expecting you to know what that means. So let's break down some jargon, some wordings, what AI actually is and what capabilities at the moment and how might we be able to integrate that into our working lives. We're going to look at some workflow optimizations because it is in the title. What workflows have you already got going on? Let's review them and how might AI and some of those automations fit into that system you've already got going on. And then towards the end, I'm going to share with you some AI tools. I'm going to have a quick fire round of my top AI tools that I'm recommending today. And hopefully you can see that there's some benefit in that. Again, lots of stuff. So do think along the way which one is most relevant to you. If we haven't met before, my name's Liz. I'm the co-founder of Digi Enable and founder of the Productivity Club, productivityclub.co.uk. I speak around the world, both in person and online. And I'd love you to think about this, yes, with your work hat on, but also with the many hats you might have as well. I sit on a couple of boards for other non-profit organisations in a voluntary capacity, and I use some of these systems not only for my business, not only for the people that I work with and support the clients and training and one-to-one coaching basis. I also use it for the charities and non-profits that I work for as well, because sometimes it can be the simplest process that can really save us time, energy and focus in what we're doing, regardless of whether it's a work capacity or something we're doing in our volunteer time. So lovely to meet you if we haven't met before. If we have met before, it's really nice to see you again. I will be popping stuff into the chat as we go. So let's start with the AI empowerment. So what does actually AI mean? AI stands for artificial intelligence. So hopefully we've either Googled that by now or we've got a concept of what that actually means. But a lot of the time, we're talking about things that are actually under a massive umbrella of AI, artificial intelligence. And there is actually different things in it. So I love this quote from McKinsey & Co. You're probably already using an AI, you just didn't realize it. I'm not going to say the names of the voice activated services, but if I said that right now, I bet you've got something either in your room or at home that you might be using already. We have had AI systems in working systems in progress for at least 10 years. This isn't anything new. However, since ChatGPT launched its publicly accessible free platform in November 2022, people have suddenly realized that actually ChatGPT, AI tools might be helpful to us because it's become more accessible for the random member of the public. So we're all starting to talk about AI and how it might help us. So that's brilliant. So let's harness that motivation and that engagement, especially if you're supporting other people who may have heard that AI term, you're already on it, but maybe this is the time, while we've got that hot topic of conversation, to have those conversations with others we might be supporting and be around in the environment. As AI is a machine's ability to perform the cognitive function we associate with human minds. So we are trying to get it to problem solve, to learn. However, we still need to teach it. And this is where my beautiful example, I love a good slide with a picture. This really helps us understand what artificial intelligence is and what goes where. So artificial intelligence is, yes, our big umbrella word for lots of different things. You'll notice here there's 3 different sections within that, though. We've got the artificial intelligence, which is carrying out everyday tasks typically requiring human intelligence. We are needing to tell it that way. The chat GPTs of the world at some point needed to learn. It was an empty shell of a brain, technology brain, and we needed to fill it with things. Now, the chat GPT scraped the internet for its knowledge. So that's only as good as the data it's found. So we hopefully need to craft it a little bit more, especially if we want to make sure that it's equal in terms of trying to be as non-biased as possible. So within artificial intelligence, you might have heard this phrase machine learning, and this is where we teach the computers what we want them to do. So there's an element of automation within this. It's creating algorithms so that it can make better decisions in future. If this, then that, do this. We're teaching it to do something. So we're only really scratching the surface at the moment with tools like AI, like ChatGPT, but we can teach it to do so much more than we, as a majority, we are using at the moment. And then we're not going to cover this in this session because we don't have enough time, but deep learning is inside those two tiers, inside machine learning. It's the bit where we're all worried that computers are going to think for themselves and they're going to take over the world. And we're so far away from that. We're like at least 20 years before it's even useful as a tool. But deep learning is the bit where it's starting to come to its own conclusions. We are very far away from that. All about robotics, self-driving cars, but even those we've taught ourselves as well. So hopefully that was worth us reviewing and gives you a little bit more of a way of sharing it with other people as well that you can easily explain. Some great types of AI. We're going to cover some of these in this session. Automation is an element of AI because we've taught it to do step 1, then step 2, then step 3. You might already have some of that inside your workflows. NLP, I've mentioned ChatGPT already. That is the most popular one out there. Lots of people have talked about it because it's been in the press and news for the past year and a half. Natural language processing. If you're a coach, not NLP the way you think it is, not neuro-linguistic programming, it's natural language processing. It's using the computer to try and interact as a human. So if you have tried some of these ChatGPT type systems, they're the ones where you're asking a question and it's responding in a human-based conversation. Then we've got generative. We're going to share some of those tools towards the end of our session together. How can we just create quick and dirty text, image, and audio generation? It isn't perfect. It doesn't replace the human. And if you do try them, you will realize that it only is really scratching the surface being good. It's not perfect, and you can tell it's been created by an automated system, but it is there and it can speed up our processes as and when you can use it as your tool in your toolbox. Then we're going to look at machine learning, machine vision some other time because they are quite in-depth topics for today, including robotics, driverless cars, and all those sorts of things. But they're the types of AI that you'll see within the global environment when we talk about AI. Here's some examples of what you might want to do with it. We're going to look at workflows next. So thinking about what sort of workflows do you already do or what you'd like to do in future. So here are some examples. Automating birthday emails. So I have a company that I co-founded that creates leads and marketing CRM system. We have one client that's a coffee shop that wanted to simply send a lovely voucher for a cake on someone's birthday, and then lots of other ideas that you might take for granted. Actually, we've been using AI. If you've ever uploaded a video to YouTube and it doesn't automatic generated subtitles, it's doing the same thing. So workflow optimizations then. So I'd love you to take a scan of the QR code there for us. That's got all the resources for this session, including a digital review tool that you can download here. You can download and use it as a digital document, or you can print it out and use it as a way of reflecting. What have you got going on right now? Because before we do the workflow conversation, it's good to see what digital tools you've got already at your fingertips. So 4 quick questions. We're just going to go through these. So have a think about these maybe write some notes, or if you're quick off the mark, download that tool and get that in your download straight away. Just pop in your email address, and you'll also see there's loads of other things on there I'll come to a little bit later on. So what programs are you already using? What have you got at your disposal? And what percentage of the features are you using of it? Because on average, we only use 36% of the features in any program. And let's reflect on that. That makes sense, because if I'm thinking, right, I'm using Excel for my work, I just get on and I do the thing I need to do. And I very rarely get the chance or have the chance to spend some time exploring what the other features are. Especially if you haven't done that in a while as well. There might be new features, including AI assisted features that are part of the packages that you're already using, but you've just not really explored any further. So that's always a great place to look for release notes. So every time a tool is updated, upgraded, it does a little release notes document. So that helps you understand what's new since the last time. If you haven't looked at that in ages, it's worth scrolling through and seeing if there's any features you think might be useful to you. So have a reflect on that. This is a tool, again, take away, print it out, use it digitally on a device, and help that have conversations with you, your team, the people around you, to figure out how best do we utilize the tools that we've got at our disposal and help it create those workflows for the future. Second question, what do you have access to or pay for that you aren't using? Now, personal basis, if you've ever, I have many times, signed up for a 14-day free trial or something, and then forgot to cancel it, haven't really used it, and the money goes out every month, and I've sort of forgot all about it. So, yeah, have a think if there's anything like that that you or your organization are paying out for on a regular basis and just not using. Now, it might be worth reflecting, because that's a good financial thing for an organization to do. But is there a reason you signed up for that program in the first place? Did you think it did what you wanted it to do and it just didn't? Now might be the time to go back to it, review those release notes and see if it has the tools that you want it to do now. Because if it has been a while, it might be that they've upgraded those resources in the time it's been. Our third column, and notice the third and fourth column are slightly different, asking slightly different questions. So third column, what tools do you need to support you in streamlining your workflows, your processes, streamlining anything within a day-to-day basis? You think, oh, yeah, I need some help with that. So what do you need? And then the follow-up question from that, the fourth column, is what tools do you want to make your life easier? Is there a need essential, and is there a it would love to have? Those two sometimes can be different things. So hopefully, as we've been going through that, you've either downloaded it and started to type in, or you've started to reflect some of those answers to those questions. Again, you can grab the QR code for that. You'll also find a Eisenhower matrix document to download on that same page from the QR code. That's a nice little, again, printable, or you can use it as a digital resource. And it's got the 4 quadrants of the Eisenhower matrix. Now, you might need that once you've done this digital tool, because there might be so many things workflow-wise that you'd really like to get to grips with and streamline. But you might then have to think, okay, there's too much. I need to make it into a priority list. So that's where my Eisenhower matrix comes in as well. So please feel free to download that on the QR code as well. So let's have a think about, okay, we've done our review system. We've looked at what resources we're currently using. We've looked at resources that we have that we're not using. And let's have a look at our workflow. So this is a prime example of if you ever get to the point where you're like, there must be an easier way to doing this. There must be a quicker way to this. If you ever see yourself or hear yourself saying that, that is the opportune moment to think, can I refine this workflow? Can I add some automation? or integration into it. And I'll use integration as a word, but I'll explain that in a second. So this is my old process. So in the little blue box, that was what I was doing. This is my Monday morning task list process. So my old process was we'd have a meeting. My task list system was Todoist, which still is. It's great. I love Todoist. And I was putting my tasks in there. And because we have a business mentor that helps us, he wanted to see what we were doing. So every week I'd create this Excel spreadsheet with our things to do this week, or I'd update a previous version, and then I'd email it him. And then because I was getting a bit overwhelmed with that, I just opened a notepad. Notepad++ is awesome for that, by the way. It adds like links and hyperlinks and things, and it understands a lot more than just text. I would open my Notepad++ document, just start writing minutes of a meeting and notes that I had to think about. And then I would spend after that meeting the next 20 minutes making it into a Todoist where I could understand what my tasks were, and then creating another document or updating the old document in Excel spreadsheet. And I got to the point where I was like, there must be a quicker, better way than this. And you're all probably super organized already and thinking, that seems like a really slow way of doing things. And it was. But you know how you get into habits. So I thought, oh, I'll just use my Todoist. But then something else crept in, and that Notepad++, because of the overwhelm, I was using an extra tool just to go, right, I just need to get my head in the right frame of mind. So I was using that. So after a bit of time of doing that digital review, Asana is the tool that popped up for us for this particular process, this particular workflow. Asana is a project management tool. As much as I was thinking tasks, I thought I need something slightly bigger for the job. So Asana is a project management system. And the benefit of moving to one system rather than three was I wasn't triplicating the information for starters. So that was saving me a lot of time, not necessarily, you know, refining a workflow any quicker, but just by picking the right tool sometimes can save you time, energy, and potentially money as well. We looked at the pro version of Asana and ended up only needing the free version. So that saved us money as well. So Asana ended up being really useful because, and one of the reasons why I ended up picking it was of the automations and integrations. And what does that mean? Well, the integrations are what Asana would then talk to data-wise and share these two different things to each other. So I found by using Asana, I could link it with my calendars. So when I created a task, I could put it straight into my calendar in an appropriate date and time. I could still have the Excel spreadsheet if I really needed to, but it also enabled me to send our business advisor a link to see the live version. So rather than me having things offline or things that I couldn't share easily, one board, one document inside Asana enabled me to share it with 3 other people very easily. And I removed that whole emailing process. See what I mean? So I'm starting to review where I am and thinking, right, what do I need to do for this? So what processes do you need for this to happen? Then it also does fabulous things like automating messages in Slack. You can create your own Zoom meetings inside it. You can email yourself. And also, it can automatically put tasks into my Todoist calendar, which is still my personal task management system. So you can see we went from 3 tools to just 1 tool, but increasing that automation. And what is automation and integration? Integration is the bit where I go into Asana or Todoist and I say, can you link in certain situations my data in Asana with Todoist and vice versa? And if it's an integration, it's something that system already understands and they talk to each other already. If they don't, this is where third-party data translation services come in, like Zapier, if you're in America, and IFTTT, which stands for if this, then that. So pretty much anything, if it's online and has an internet connection capability, can be automated. So have a think about what those processes mean to you. Top tip once you get to this workflow system, this is a screenshot of an actual digital workflow that I've created for one of the organizations I sit on the board of. And you could just draw it out with pen and paper or digital kind of brainstorming system, but it's helpful to say if this. So the first section is trigger. In what situation does it then trigger this series of steps? Now, once you've started to draw it out, it's great if you want to go A to B to C. I would suggest then adding on a level of detail that includes what tool you plan on using, tool or tools, plural, and or what type of data, what data set. So first name, last name, email, what's important, pieces of data that need to go back and forwards or towards different things. What is in that step in the process? So for us to wrap up that section, what multi-step process would you love to automate? Okay, brilliant. So we're going to move on. So I'm going to share with you some quick fire tools for our AI assist section. Being able to use AI tools is great, but even better is if there's a tool that already has AI assisted systems inside what you're already using. So I'm going to give you some examples. So we're used to the video conferencing world since 2020. We've got Zoom and MS Teams. Within Zoom, we've got an AI companion for summarizing. So you can have notes, you can summarize the minutes of meetings. It's a plugin that you can have within Zoom. Very similar, we've got an MS Teams one, which is called Intelligent Recap. So some of you might already be using that. So that's part of our everyday systems. It's an assisted technology because it's helping us do our job quicker. And if you don't use any of them, or you want to have a third-party system for some text that isn't part of a meeting, I highly recommend a nice little free tool from monkeylearn.com called Text Summarizer. So that gives you a flavor for what you're already using. Like, I'm guessing you're using at least one of those already. If not, check it out. I know you're going to be using Zoom or MS Teams somewhere in your week. So Canva, canva.com is one of my favorite online templated graphical creations. It's a free platform. It doesn't have a pro version. But I found most recently this AI creation tool inside it. Canva is a great graphic creation package online. You can download it to your computer and have it on an app as well. It's great at giving you templates, but sometimes you can struggle for a picture, right? So yes, there are free resources out there you can grab pictures, but in Canva now, it's got this magic media, which is an AI creation, a generative we mentioned before at the start, a generative AI tool to create images, and it's pretty good. My final tool, Visla.uk, which creates video content from a script from scratch. So beautiful to have a look at as well. And again, that's a ChatGPT embedded app. And then to wrap us up, I wanted to share with you my buffer. This is, I use this one. This is a screenshot of mine. But what AI assisted technology is in there? So again, go have a look at those tools that you're already using, because chances are there's some sort of AI feature in it somewhere. So AI Assist inside Buffer will actually auto suggest some written content for me. It also integrates with things like Canva as well. So that's one that I use day in, day out. That's open multiple times a day on mine. If you've liked these sorts of tools, there's also a how to use AI basics, quick little course in the same place that you've got those two downloads from earlier. There's a little intro to AI and AI tools section where you'll find lots more links to lots more resources, including things like text analysis and social media a theme where it's understanding the sentiment. You can search for any social media tools without having social media accounts. So to finish off, I'd love to have a bit of a wrap up. You'd like to share in the chat if you're live with us. Share 3 things, 3 tools, 3 research pieces that you want to go away and do from this session. I'd love you to do that now. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to have a think. If you're not sharing in the chat live or you're watching a replay, then please do have a think. What are all of those notes that you created? And what 3 things can you do that you'd like to do in the next couple of weeks that you think might be really helpful to integrate some of your AI tools and technologies into your workflows. We are at time. Thanks so much for joining us. You can find the information on my website. We've got a couple of websites on the go as well. Make sure you check out the resources and download all of those things and have a look at the AI tools. There's like 4 little steps to run you through some more detail about how to use AI tools in a self-learning environment. I hope that's been really helpful for you.